death, and that is the finding of an investigation of
Tiffany Henyard, who calls herself the super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is now caught up in another shocking scandal. She is accused of trying to bribe a federal investigator to escape her growing legal problems. If these accusations are true, they raise serious ethical and legal concerns, showing just how far Henyard might go to protect her troubled administration. Bribing a federal investigator is a very serious claim and shows the desperation she might be feeling during her already scandal-filled time in office. Once seen as a rising political star, Henyard's career is now tainted by accusations of corruption, financial mismanagement, and abuse of power. These bribery claims could be the final blow to her political career. As federal investigators look more closely at her actions, Henyard's leadership, which once promised progress and prosperity, has been marked by one scandal after another. What were once seen as small concerns about financial mismanagement have grown into a full federal investigation. Investigators are finding a pattern of corruption and misconduct, especially when it comes to the town's finances. Reports suggest that Henyard has been treating Dalton's funds as if they were her own. There are also allegations that Henyard has been treating the city's funds like her personal piggy bank. Claims of excessive spending, questionable financial transactions, and high costs have drained Dalton's resources. Authorities are now following a trail of suspicious spending, which raises concerns about potential fraud and misuse of public money. As investigators look deeper into the financial records, they've uncovered a series of mysterious fund transfers and transactions, pointing to widespread abuse of power. Henyard has strongly denied these allegations, saying the investigation is a politically driven attack meant to ruin her. However, her critics argue that her denials are not convincing, especially with the growing amount of evidence against her. Public trust in her leadership has plummeted, and residents of Dalton, who once supported her, are becoming increasingly frustrated. Henyard's time in office, which started with promises to revitalize the city, has instead turned into a cycle of controversy, mismanagement, and scandal. If the bribery allegations are proven true, they could end her political career and lead to serious legal consequences, including possible criminal charges. Federal investigators are reportedly looking closely at her employment records, financial statements, and other documents, which might reveal an even larger network of corruption. If convicted, Henyard could face significant legal penalties. The penalties Henyard faces could include possible prison time, further damaging her already tarnished reputation. As the investigation continues, the pressure on her is growing. It's unclear how much longer she can hold on to power before the weight of these allegations forces her out of office. Her efforts to shift the blame onto others and portray herself as a victim of a political conspiracy have done little to calm the public's anger. In fact, many residents are now demanding justice and accountability. The bribery attempt has only added fuel to the fire, leaving little doubt that her administration is in crisis. With each passing day, it becomes more obvious that her leadership is running out of time. Once loyal supporters are now distancing themselves, weakening her already fragile hold on power. Henyard's time as the so-called super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is quickly falling apart. As more evidence of financial misconduct, abuse of power, and corruption comes to light under federal investigation, the political empire she built is rapidly crumbling. What started as a hopeful campaign is now dissolving in scandal. What began with promises of revitalizing the city and improving social initiatives has turned into a political nightmare. The citizens of Dalton, who once believed in Henyard's vision, are now realizing that she may have put her personal gain ahead of the community's needs. Henyard, once praised as a trailblazer with ambitious plans, has seen her promises fall apart amid reports of financial chaos, unexplained budget deficits, and lavish personal spending. As the federal investigation intensifies, Henyard not only faces growing legal trouble, but her closest allies are also under scrutiny. Some have reportedly turned against her to protect themselves. The FBI's investigation has been thorough, revealing evidence of financial misconduct and a culture of intimidation and retaliation during Henyard's leadership. Witnesses have come forward with stories of harsh consequences for anyone who dared challenge her authority. These actions reportedly included revoking business licenses, denying funding, firing employees without cause, and personal harassment. These claims paint a disturbing picture of a mayor who used fear and revenge, rather than public service, to lead. Several former employees have filed lawsuits for wrongful termination after refusing to take part in questionable activities, adding to Henyard's growing legal problems. Perhaps the most shocking example of Henyard's misuse of public funds is her reckless and lavish spending while Dalton faced a massive financial shortfall. Reports suggest that Henyard spent extravagantly even as the city struggled to make ends meet. Henyard is accused of funneling taxpayer money into extravagant outings, expensive personal security, and mysterious financial transactions that don't have legitimate explanations. While city services were being cut, public employees faced delays in getting paid, and infrastructure projects stalled, Henyard's personal spending continued without limits. The people of Dalton, who once believed in her promise for positive change, are now demanding accountability as they watch their city's finances fall apart. Despite the overwhelming evidence against her, Henyard remains defiant, publicly calling the investigation a politically motivated attack meant to ruin her reputation. In recent public appearances, she has insisted that she is being targeted for challenging traditional leadership and upsetting the political system. However, rather than restoring trust in her leadership, her increasingly erratic behavior has only fueled doubts about her ability to govern effectively. The most shocking development is the explosive allegation that Henyard tried to bribe a federal investigator in a desperate attempt to escape her growing legal troubles. If this claim is proven true, it could mark the end of her political career and expose her to criminal charges, possibly even federal prison time. The fact that a sitting mayor would attempt such a bold move shows just how deep the corruption and panic are within her administration. This new revelation, along with the ongoing investigation into her finances, paints an even darker picture of Henyard's leadership. As the investigation continues, the residents of Dalton are left wondering how much longer Henyard can cling to power before her administration collapses under the weight of its own corruption. Once seen as a beacon of hope for the city, Henyard's leadership has spiraled into a series of scandals that have damaged her credibility and turned the people she promised to serve against her. Dalton's political landscape is now in chaos, with growing demands for accountability and justice. Henyard's once loyal supporters are distancing themselves, and even her closest allies, like Keith Freeman, have reportedly turned on her, revealing just how deep the scandal runs. As more insiders come forward with damaging information, it's becoming clear that Henyard's political empire is crumbling. Legal experts believe that given the wide range of allegations against Henyard, ranging from financial mismanagement and abuse of power to retaliation against critics and now an attempted bribery, her case could become one of the most high-profile political downfalls in Illinois history. As the investigation progresses, it is clear that Henyard's time as mayor is rapidly coming to an end. With every new revelation, her political career seems to be falling apart, leaving Dalton residents to wonder if they will ever get the accountability they deserve.